Hey, good morning. Let's pop some champagne. Go, Cubs, go. Cubs are in the playoffs. First time since it didn't count. 2020. We're not going to count that COVID year. Cubs are in the postseason for the first time since 2020, the weird COVID year. Otherwise, first time since 2018. And that was just a shitty year for the Cubs. Lost to the Brewers. I think it was for the division. It was like basically a one-game playoff for the division in 2018. The Cubs lost. So they lost the division, had to play in the one-game wild card against the Colorado Rockies, and then lost that, and they were gone. Poof, gone. So it's hopefully at least they get a series. They'll get a playoff series. Full season series for the first time since 2017 when they made it to the National League Championship Series for the third straight year. I was looking at since the World Series, the Cubs have only won the division twice. That was in 2017, I think, and then again in the weird COVID season. So really only one division since the World Series, one division title since the World Series. The Brewers have won like 5. Cardinals have won 2 full season divisions. That was shocking to me. Like, I felt like the Cardinals sucked since 2015 when the Cubs knocked them out in 2015. Was that 2015? So here we are. So let's make a run. Let's go, Cubs. Go, Cubs, go. So Cubs are in the playoffs. Clinch it in Pittsburgh yesterday. I had a fun celebration in the clubhouse. You may see in the background, it looks messy again. I spent, it's insane how much more efficient I am, how much more money is being made in live selling, combined with how much faster I can ship. So I've done, how many orders would I have had? 450, 200, 650 orders, plus there were a couple buy it nows that I sold. So over 650, like 652 orders. There might have been a couple trickled that payment came in over the weekend. So let's just call it 660 orders. And I basically did no shipping on Monday. I shipped a few orders on Monday. And then I did 3 streams. And then Tuesday I shipped, did another stream. And then yesterday morning I shipped. And I was pretty much done shipping by like 1 yesterday. Like normally 660 orders, that would take me like 2 to 3 days, just basically pulling orders. And it would take me, because I'm also getting stuff added. Like, I probably, in an entire calendar year, I was probably down to net 0 shipments 3 times a year. And usually that was because I had to push myself going into spring training or vacation, or, if I'm going to be gone for a few days. So now I'm at like net 0 almost every day. It's amazing. And yet here I am doing the volume. I'm still doing more volume than I was, and shipping it in a fraction of the time because of the ease of the efficiency in live selling packing orders. So that's been awesome. So because I finished up shipping and I decided I'm going to take the whole day off. I did three live streams on Monday. I did a live stream on Tuesday night, and I'm like, I'm going to take Wednesday off. I'm going to do a double header on Thursday. And I wanted to see, and yesterday morning, it's like, well, depending on how much shipping I actually get done, and it went fast. That's, maybe I'll only do 1 stream on Thursday, but here I am. I'm going to do 2 streams. I'm not going to do a night stream because Thursday nights have been brutal for me. So I'm not going to do a night stream. I'm going to do an afternoon stream. It could also be brutal. But at least I'm not. I feel like prime time. Like I have to bring out good stuff in prime time, even if it shit doesn't sell. And really, I mean, how often do I have like good stuff? I don't. I'm a low end channel, and I try to communicate that frequently. Like, hey, welcome to my show. You're not going to find PSA 10 Patrick Mahomes rookies and autographs and Michael Jordans and rookies and Kobe rookies. Well, actually, I've sold quite a few Kobe rookies, but there's not going to be any Michael Jordan rookies. There's not going to be in high-end vintage. So you're getting what you're getting. There's no downtowns or kabooms here. But I got plenty of Dan Marino. And I'm glad I didn't go all in on Dan Marino buying, because I still have a bunch of Dan Marino and they're not selling like they used to. So yeah, so I'm going to do 2 shows today. We're going to start at 10:30 this morning, and then another one this afternoon at 2:30. My plan right now is I'm going to schedule up 50. We're going to do progressives. That's why my office is a mess again. In fact, I think there's 4 4-row boxes up against my counter back here. Those are all going to be dime boxes. So it's actually been, it was yesterday afternoon, last night was a little bit of synergy because I'm basically organizing and cleaning up the boxes in my shipping room, and that way I can put them in their proper places. As I'm going through, it's like, okay, these cards I want to sleeve up, and I want to put these in a lot sale. These are going to go in a dime box, and there's even some like junk commons. They're going in a dime box because they're dime cards. So there may be some garbage cards in the dime boxes on Sunday at the Janesville Card Show, but roll on through, keep her moving. So now, if I come across a box that's like 88 Donruss, I'm not going to take that to a card show, but that's going to go straight to the storage unit and hopefully get rid of that at some point. So it's actually like 3 and 4-fold what I'm doing. So I went through quite a few boxes last night. I got those 4 dime boxes. I have 1, 2, 3 rows that I cleared out in 3 5 rows that I cleared out last night. So I got a lot of progress done. But in clearing all of that, it filled 4 4-row boxes of dime cards, and I filled almost a 4-row box of baseball and half a 4-row box of football. So, and maybe a row of basketball. So I will be, those will be in lots coming up today, a double header of lots. So right now the plan is this morning at 10:30, 50 lots, and then again 2:30 this afternoon, 50 lots. So I can go a little longer because I don't have anything to take to the post office. I don't have to make a post office run. So I made my afternoon stream, depending on how it goes, may go a little. Usually I try to wrap it up by 4:30, but I can stretch it out to 5:30 tonight just because I don't need to be anywhere. Although I had something. I'm supposed to be on a podcast at some point today, but they haven't followed up with the time. So now I've got to tell them, hey, when we started talking about this, I was flexible. Now I'm not flexible. Unless, you know what? Shit. I wonder if he did set a time. All right. Actually, I'm going to. Oh, wait, we did set a time. 10 a.m. Central. Okay, that gives me time. Perfect. Oh, that's perfect. I didn't even. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to bump my morning to 10:45 actually, just to give me a little buffer. I should be done in a half an hour, but you never know. So we're going to bump that out to 10:45. Okay, so 10:45 is going to be my morning show. He still hasn't sent me a link though. So yeah, that's what I did last night. What was I watching? I don't know what I was watching. Oh, I watched a movie. It's getting, the leaves are turning. The leaves are falling. I don't know what the trees are. Is it a sycamore? What's a sycamore tree look like? But I'll tell you what, they leave these yellow little small leaves. It's not a sycamore tree. We had a sycamore tree growing up. They had those little hairy balls. That's what she said. Tree with small yellow leaves in Wisconsin in September. I should chat GPT. I'm Googling this, and Google's not going to give me the right answer. I don't know. But anyway, it's one of those trees, and they're a fucking mess. My wife wants to take, we have one in our backyard, and then our street is like tree lined with these damn things. So there's like these little yellow leaves this time of year, and within the last couple days, it's a golden shower. Oh boy, all the sexual innuendo today. So we're on the deck last night, and my wife's like, I really want to take this tree down. And I'm like, here's let's slow things down. My wife hates the sun. Not like a vampire hates the sun, but if the sun were shining down on the deck, she's not going to go sit out on the deck. Now, me, I will. I love the sun. So I'm like, here's the thing. That tree provides a lot of shade. And if that tree were to be taken down, a lot of sun would be lasering in on our deck. You wouldn't want to sit out here as much as you do. And she's like, what? But there's trees behind. And I'm like, yeah, let's just not make rash decisions. It is a pain. It is a pain, but it's a pain for less than a month. Because when the leaves start to fall, that means it's getting colder and there's going to be less time spent on that deck. We get the whole spring and summer, and then we get, a couple of weeks of these damn leaves, and we have to wipe them off the couch cushions. And I should just put my leaf blower out there. That's what it's for. It's a fucking leaf blower. Blow the leaves off the deck. I don't think I've ever used the leaf blower to blow. I don't think I've ever used my leaf blower to blow leaves. It's ironic, isn't it? Don't you think? So it's like, well, why do you have a leaf blower? I honestly don't know. I mean, I have no use for it, right? I mean, I don't even mow my own lawn. So in the past, I used it to blow grass clippings off my patio and driveway. And now we have a company that does that. So I don't know if I've used my leaf blower since then. But now I know. And I'll go out and I'll blow the deck off. So what else is going on? So that's what I did last night. I was very productive in the afternoon. So I had all my shipping done by, I think it was before 1, because I spent most of the afternoon down here in my office with card show stuff. So I'm working on next week's Madison Card Show. I've got to get the ad put up on Facebook and blow that out. I was going to do that last night. I failed to do that. But I was going through my roster, and I've actually got quite a few openings for the Saturday show, which is not typical. I think I did book a few that are not listed. Actually, you know what? I'm probably full now. Looking over my list. Those are all full. Those are open. Got some openings there, a couple openings there. I'm waiting on a couple confirmations, and I did book a few more. So did I get those bookings? Did I put those guys in? But I don't think I put, no. The recent bookings were like 4 or 5 last night. Because I did an email blast. And so I had a few people. I said there's limited sports tables available. So I've got new sports dealers. Actually, quite a few. There's 3. Let's see, 3, 4. I'm going to call Eric W. a new dealer because he hasn't been here in a while. 5. 6, 7. So 7 or 8 new sports dealers. There's a few guys. Tom at Real Breaks won't be at the show, and I think he'll probably only be doing the big show. That based on our conversations, it kind of sounded that way. Who else? Sports card grading. My buddy Steve probably will be at the show as a buyer, but he's not going to set up just because of eBay Live, and that's exactly like it's completely changed. I will be set up on Sunday in Janesville, but I'm going to be basically walking the floor the whole time buying. And I don't do like I would have done Kane County. I might have done Kane County and then drove straight from Kane County to my class reunion this past Saturday, but it's like I don't want to set up. So next Saturday is the Madison Card Show, 9 to 3, Sheraton Hotel. It's now called the Madison Marriott South, same hotel, different name. 9 to 3, free admission, free parking. Sunday is the Madison Pokemon Show. That is now completely sold out. See, look at that. Madison Pokemon completely sold out. Sports, I'm sending out email blasts trying to get dealers to set up on Saturday. Now, part of that is sports dealers for months and months and months trying to get in, and they just give up. Well, they're always sold out. So now it's kind of like, okay, well, I'll take, but there is limited availability. I probably have, I'm trying to look at here. I have a couple files. So this is where it's like, I don't want to state a number because I don't know. There's a couple. So let's see. I think I booked 5 tables. I have, based on my map, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. About 21 open tables, but I have 4 tables that I'm still waiting on follow-ups from, and there's a couple other dealers that I got to follow up. So there's like 6 tables that I'm following up with. There's 5 that I haven't put down. So I still have about 10 tables that I can fill up. 2 months ago at the hotel, I had to reach into the Pokemon side, and there's plenty. And that's what there was a string on Twitter. I think Sean, tweeted it out and said, Madison Card Show has been separating, and somebody said last time I went to the hotel show it was 80% Pokemon, which is that actually does more harm than good for card shows, even if there's a 50-50 mix. Because if somebody says, well, don't go to that show, it's 80% Pokemon, which is a blatant false lie. I don't know if I've ever had more than 35%. I think maybe at most I had 50 tables. I don't even think I've ever had 50 tables at the Saturday show. And that would be about a third. That would be about 33%. So when people spread shit like that, it does more harm than good for your area. And then you wonder why sports people don't go to the card show. Well, if you're spreading misinformation, because that may, if somebody's on the fence, I'm not going to go to that card show because it's all Pokemon and it's 20% Pokemon or even 30% Pokemon. Well, you just missed out. And that could have made a dealer's day if that money would have been in the room. So that's annoying. And I mean, I'm impacted by it because I'm often on the fence. Like, should I go to a show? I don't know. I've heard it's all Pokemon. And, there could be dealers that I would have, but also if that's what the word out is, it's all Pokemon, but they're sports dealers. You might be the only buyer and you can get some good deals. Dealers having a shit day. He's like, yeah, I'll just give it all away for a fraction of the price. So that kind of ticked me off. Like, no, there's never, ever, 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 ever been a time where it's even been 50% Pokemon at my show. Unless the Madison Pokemon show, then it's 100%. Well, actually, it's still not 100%. It's probably 98.5% because I had one dealer that had some sports cards out on his table. And then some have sports blasters and wax and stuff, which at least, I mean, I kind of want some of the Pokemon dealers to bring sports to give me something to do. So, I mean, we let Pokemon in on the sports show. Let sports in on the Pokemon show. So next weekend, Saturday, September 27th is the Madison Card Show. It is a mix of sports and Pokemon. It is, I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, it could be more than this. If sports dealers don't step up and set up, then it's going to be more Pokemon. But I'm just going to go through the tables that I've got written down so far. Sports, Pokemon, Pokemon, sports, Pokemon, sports, Pokemon, sports, Pokemon, sports, Pokemon, sports. That's the fucking Saturday show. A lot of fucking sports. That's what we want on Saturday. Sunday, Pokemon. By the way, next month, October 25th, is the Madison Card Show at the Alliant Energy Center. And I will be sending out information to the August dealers. That will likely go out, I'm hoping tonight, because I'm not doing a live stream tonight. So I want to get my ads up, and I want to get the email blast sent out. So there will be information on the parking situation, because parking, they will be charging for parking at the gate, but dealers, you will have a parking pass. Thank your show promoter for eating that cost for you. So that will be, you get one. So you're going to have to carpool. If you have a buddy that's driving separately, they got to pay. I'm paying for one parking pass. So that information will be going out tonight. Max says, just getting in, why are we going through the show lineup? Well, somebody on Twitter said that the last hotel Madison Card Show they went to was 80% Pokemon, which is a blatant fucking lie. And that, what I said was that spread, that misinformation is actually hurting sports card dealers, because then they well, this guy told me that it was 80% Pokemon, so I'm not going to go to that show, or I'm not going to set up that show. So that misinformation is hurting. I wanted to go through the lineup for next Saturday's show to show that it's largely sports. Yeah, there's going to be some Pokemon dealers, but it's going to be largely sports. Oh, I didn't go through the hallway. Allow me to go through the hallway. So those were the two ballrooms that I went through. So I'm going to go through the hallway. Pokemon, sports. Pokemon, sports. And maybe sports out in the other hallway. So there you go. All right, let's go to the chat. So that's what I had. That's what I had for today. Where are we at? Peter's in the house. Happy postseason birth edition. Go Cubs, go. Tigers says, I am nervous and pissed about the Tigers. 4 more against Cleveland, and we apparently can't beat them. This is a fun time of year in baseball if your team is not laying an egg. So what does the I've only been paying attention to the National League Central and my own fantasy. I'm in the third place. So my Cinderella run of 7 consecutive games ended in the semifinals. Last week I lost. I got obliterated in the semifinals. I'm in a pretty tight matchup this week in the third place game. So there is money for third place in my fantasy baseball. So, all right. So let's look at the standings in Major League Baseball, the one that counts. Although mine does count. There's money on the line. So National League Central, the Brewers have clinched. The Cubs have clinched. Let's see. The Phillies are in first place. They've clinched, right? They don't have a mark next to they don't have a mark, but I'm sure they've clinched. They're 12.5 up in the division. They've won 91 games. They're in. Dodgers. Now the West has not been clinched. Dodgers have a 2-game lead over the Padres. American League, you got the Blue Jays in front of the Yankees by 4 games. AL Central, Tigers are up 4.5 on Cleveland, but as Tiger 727 notes, 4 more games between the Guardians and the Tigers. Astros only lead the Mariners by a half game. Wow, Seattle. Look out. So in the wild card National League, the Cubs have a 5-game lead for the number 1 spot over the Padres. So with how many games left? 12 games left. So could happen, but the math is difficult to beat for the Padres. Mets are hanging on to that last wild card spot. They have a 1.5-game lead over the Diamondbacks, and the Reds, they've kind of surged forward, although they were only 5-5 in the last 10 games. Looking at the top, so the Cubs are actually 7-3 in their last 10 games. The Brewers are 6-4. The Phillies are 8-2. Dodgers are 7-3. But then the Mets are 2-8. The Diamondbacks and Reds are 5-5. The Giants are 4-6. Cardinals 3-7. And these are all teams within 5 games of a wild card spot. That being the Mets have right now the 3rd wild card spot. Diamondbacks, Reds, Giants, Cardinals, all within 5. American League, you've got the Yankees holding that top wild card spot, but only by 2 games over both Boston and Seattle. Cleveland is 2.5 out of a wild card spot. Texas 4.5 out. So there you go. Major League Baseball. We're only 2 weeks away from the postseason. 2 weeks away from October. Where has the time gone? Offbeat All-Stars. What's going on? Good morning. Red Light says, do you have any 1975 Topps comments? I probably do. I don't know if I have any sorted. I'll look around. Dan's in the house. What's going on? Tiger 727 says, possibly wild cherry tree that don't have cherries. I don't know if it's a wild cherry. We have, I don't know if we have a cherry. Yes, we do. We have a cherry blossom in the back, which is an awesome tree for like 3 days. When it blossoms, and then the rest of the year, it's just like, oh, there it is. We had one at our old house too. Tracy, go Cubs. Yes, sir. Good morning. Peter says, I'm fine with big leaves. It's the little ones that are freaking annoying. I agree. I mean, big leaves are annoying too if there's a bunch of them, but it's those small leaves because we track them all over. Like, we are picking up these fucking little yellow leaves all the time. Ernie drags them in. I drag them in. My wife drags them in. It's just, they're annoying as hell. 608, good morning. Luke Bryan tonight for the girlfriend's birthday concert in a cornfield. Oh, that's the farm thing, the farm tour. Very cool. Unicorn says, maples and willows are the only trees I want on my property. However, my property is not big enough for willows. Willow trees are cool. I like willow trees. Those bitches' roots are not nice to stuff underground. Dat Dude says, what's up? Any tips on identifying a sealed jumbo case? Can't find any info on the box code. Ooh, I cannot help there. I am not schooled on the art of sealed cases. But hopefully somebody else can. Dan says, somebody jotting these results down. Sports. Sounds like an SOS. Go ahead, an aneurysm. LOL. There we go. We explained that. Social media, just turn it off. But yeah, guy's an idiot if they're saying that. Yeah, it's really annoying when I say, and I don't think they, because I replied, I'm like, no, that's patently false. I didn't say exactly that word, but that is completely false. No, didn't even reply. Like, just don't be a douche. Yeah, the tweet was, I haven't been there for a while for the hotel shows. It used to be 80% Pokemon, so I stopped going because of it. But I know they have made new changes, which is nice. No, I haven't. I mean, have I made changes? I added the Pokemon show, but added a new venue every other month. Social media is mostly rage bait, at least on Reddit. I actually like Reddit more than I do Twitter. It doesn't seem like, I don't know. There's a lot of entertaining stories on Reddit. Like Twitter is just like people bitching to bitch, kind of like Facebook. Facebook's probably my least favorite. And I think the reason why is because it's people I know. And it's like, you have these opinions? Uncle Larry? Orlando's in the house. What's up? Marlins are 6 games out of a wild card. Will be eliminated soon. At least they are better than the Braves. There you go. Small victories. Max says it wasn't ever even close to 40%. No, I think I said this before you came in. I think the most I ever had, I don't even think I ever hit 50 tables at the Saturday show, which would have been 30, like whatever 50 of 140 is. I don't think I ever hit 100, or I don't think I ever hit 50 tables at the show. 50 tables would be 35% of a 140 table show. Maybe 40 tables. I'm sure I've had 40 tables. But that percentage I probably had when I had 40 tables, and maybe I did have 50. I bet I did have 50 tables at one time when it was the 3 rooms. Plus there were a couple times where I did the Pokemon room. So in those, I mean, it was still going to be like 35%. Maybe it was 50, maybe it was 60, but I had 200 tables. So what's the math on that? That's got to be 35%, right? What's 60 divided by 200? 30. That's 30%. So that's even a smaller percentage. I think a lot of people are just dumb when it comes to percentages. They don't realize. Like, oh yeah, 80%. Unicorn says I would say 30 to 40%. I would say 25 to 30. I could go through and look at a previous show if you want me to say Pokemon, sports, Pokemon. Where's my old? Because I keep all my old maps. I don't think I've ever had here's a random map. Okay, I'm just gonna count. I won't say Pokemon 40 times. All right. So this is I didn't even label what I could probably tell you by some of the names. This is definitely a couple years old. Josh Mueller's on here. So if any of you you may have read his name in the police blotter in Minnesota for doing allegedly bad things at a card shop. Okay, so I'm going to count Pokemon. So this is probably what year is this? 2.5 years ago. All right. So I'm going to start in the Williamson Ballroom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Harrison Hunt, I don't know who he is, so I'm assuming Pokemon. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. That's all sports. So that's 9. That's 9 out of 40. Oh wow, I had 4 tables at this show. 10. 11. Nope, he was not. So we're at 10. He was sports. 11, 12. 13, 14, 15. So we're at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 out of 140. But that's now there's been 40 shows. So maybe that was just and again, that was like 2.5 years ago. We probably hit a peak of Pokemon within the last year. So it'd be better to go back before I start, maybe end of last year, early this year. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure there's never been a Madison card show. Actually, I can tell you because I put all the tables together. I'm pretty sure there's never been over 35% Pokemon tables. And just for Just so we're clear on 35% would be 50 tables at a 140 table show. And that would be what like 60? No, that'd be like 65 tables on a 200 table show, 65, 70 tables. Max says 30. Yeah, I think 30 to, maybe 35. I don't even know if it ever hit 35%, but I think 30 was probably the max, 30 to 32%. Max says, I think a lot of people are just dumb. I think that, yeah, I would agree with that. Dan says, I think that douche mistake the Pokemon show for the sports might have came in. And then his math's still dumb because it's 99% Pokemon at that show. Shane says, first there was Steiner math, then there was girl math, now hobby math. 80% equals 40%. In this case, 80% equals 30%. Max says, throw math on top of it, and 9.9 of 10 people are fucking stupid, to be honest. Your above average human is likely a C+ in math, which shouldn't be able to graduate, but alas, I was a shitty math person, and here I am. A bit arbitrary, but gives us a glimpse. Tiger says, talking about people's intelligence levels, the average jury has an education level of 8th grade. How is that even possible? That cannot be true. That cannot be true. The average jury, that means the average, no. Because average, how many's on a jury? 12? So that means people didn't even go to school. If the average education level is 8th grade, does this mean completing coursework, graduated the 8th grade? That can't be right. That can't be right. That dude says, pay cash and watch. Let's chat GPT it. Now I'm curious. What is the average education level of a jury? Let's see what chat GPT says. I can't. But I mean, really, it's all right. There isn't a single fixed average education level for juries, but research on jury composition in the United States gives us a pretty good picture. General findings show most jurors have at least some college. Studies of jury pools show that jurors, on average, tend to have higher levels of education than the general public. Bachelor's degree or higher, a substantial portion, often 40 to 50%, of seated jurors hold a college degree, compared with about 1/3 of U.S. adults overall. High school graduates. The rest are usually high school graduates, with relatively few jurors lacking a diploma, since most states require literacy in English and jury pools are drawn from voter registration and driver's license lists. Advanced degrees, jurors with graduate or professional degrees are somewhat overrepresented compared to the general population. Why education levels skew higher? People with higher education are more likely to respond to jury summons and not be excused for hardship. Jury selection often filters out individuals with limited English literacy, and attorneys may prefer jurors with certain educational backgrounds depending on the case type. Across multiple studies, the average education level of U.S. jurors is between some college and a bachelor's degree, slightly above the population average. There you go. Yes. So ChatGPT asked me, would you like me to pull the most recent published study post-2020 on juror demographics so you can see exact breakdowns? Yes. So I want this. All right. Washington State statewide juror summons demographic survey project. Findings. On average, people who report for jury duty in Washington hold higher levels of education than the median educational attainment in their respective counties. Connecticut. Let's see. Connecticut, it confirms that the educational profile of those reporting is higher than that of the state population overall. The report doesn't give, in the summary sections I saw, precise breakdowns that are consistent across all counties. There you go. Let's see. Tiger says, I can't say too much about math. I am horrible with math. Unicorn says, do Pokemon collectors care about the artists? That question is directed to Max. If so, would an autograph ruin or add value to a card? Max says, absolutely. Depends on the card, but I think autos are dumb. It probably 50-50 if you ask dealers, collectors. I wonder if this is something that will age similarly to sports cards, where 30 years ago, an autograph ruined a card. Don't get that rookie card autographed. It's going to ruin it. 30 years later, an autographed rookie card is like, that's what people want now. I wonder if this will happen in Pokemon. Now, we're not comparing apples to apples, but I'm curious if that's something that would change over the course of time, like it has in sports cards. Tiger says, the amount of jurors depends on the type of trial, circuit court versus district court. Max says, it's much like sports IP stuff, to be honest. If it's a base card, fine, it's okay. If it's a numbered card or a plate, 1 of 1, I think it completely ruins it. So I agree with this on a different standpoint from sports cards. Like, I don't want to take even a color. Like, if I have a sky blue out of $4.99, I don't want to get that signed in person. I want my base card signed. I want a refractor. I think refractors are cool in person, but I don't want serial numbered stuff signed. I would never want a printing plate or a 1 of 1 signed in person. I think that ruins it. It's a 1 of 1. Get the fucking base card signed. Don't ruin a 1 of 1. So I agree on that. I'm the same. I have the same thought process there. Unicorn says, these jurors are selected from a larger pool by attorneys. Makes sense to both parties to have more intelligent people hearing their case. I would think so. Offbeat says, I got my 1969 Topps Nolan Ryan signed. It's a prized card in my PC. Yeah, I think it's great, because how many 1969 Topps? I mean, you could go to eBay and there's 1,000. I don't know, there maybe at least hundreds of a 69 Topps Nolan Ryan. But how many autographed copies are there? And if you have a 69 non-autographed, you get the autographed. I love getting cards signed. It's such a cool part of the collection. I agree. I'm not I'm a grapher for about 8 days a year at spring training and Cubs convention. So maybe 2 weeks a year, maybe a minor league game here and there. But I don't go to autograph signings. I'm not a chaser. Like, I'm not going to chase somebody down for an autograph. Like, even at spring training, if I see somebody that I quote need, now, am I going to run? I shouldn't say that, because I have. Like, I haven't chased anybody down. Although I did chase down Carlos Perez, who's a AAA catcher. I ran after him. He was walking down the path, and I was getting somebody else, and I saw, that's Carlos Perez. I got to run after him. It's not like I'm chasing him through a parking lot or, a freaking restaurant or something. So I'm not going to chase. If I see somebody walk by that I need, a lot of times, if they get more than like 10 steps, so it's like, I'll try to get them later. If I don't get them, I don't get them. Let's see. Where are we at? Unicorn says the larger pool probably has an 8th grade education, but that's not a jury though, right? That's just a prospective jury, prospective juror. I think authentication helped sports cards, but Pokemon hobby is not familiar to me. Max says, if I get a card signed myself, great, but IP autos to buy from someone else is garbage, to be honest. I agree and disagree. The top set that is essentially IP autos, I still can't believe it had any success. That I agree with. First sentence, I somewhat disagree with. I will buy IP autos. Now, am I going to go out and buy an IP auto of Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner, Ian Happ? No. Have I? Probably. But I certainly don't seek them out. I've had a lot of people leading up to Sandberg, his death. I had a lot of people trying to sell me his rookie, even like $200. Like, how much do you want for it? Like, I mean, I'm curious. Like, yeah, if I can get a good deal on it. But a raw rookie card of Ryan Sandberg, you could, up until a week before he passed away, you could send $20 and send it through the mail and get it returned. So you could buy a $10 rookie card, add $20 to it, $30. It's like, okay, I'll give you 40 because of the time it took. $200 is ridiculous. I can go buy one for $5 or $10 and send it for 20, send in a $20 check and get one signed. But I do, like, there's a booth at the National that has all in person, like mostly minor league autographs, in person signed. And I will buy them if I feel like I can flip it. And now we're not talking $20 and up. I'm talking, well, I can get probably, this guy doesn't give many bulk deals. So basically you're spending $1 if I can flip it for $5. But it's not like I'm loading up because they can be difficult to flip. So I'm usually just spending a few hours, and it's usually towards the end of towards the end of my time at the National, where I spend a few hours and I'm digging. And I think I bought 50 Cubs autographs for my own collection. Minor league guys, most of them I probably already had in my collection, but for $1 a card, I'll buy it. Now, Topps Archive Signature Series, garbage. I also cannot believe that has any success, and people buy that garbage product. Oh, it's a 1-of-1. It's a garbage 1-of-1 IP auto. It's manufactured stupidity. Unicorn says, would never want to ruin a card with an autograph unless I got it in person. I don't trust them. I don't trust them either, but if I'm buying J Tibbs, I don't care. Because who's going to take the time to forge a J Tibbs autograph? Dat Dude says, how do you handle IP autos as a dealer? I get them a lot. So this is a great question. So if it's in a $1 box and it's somebody like, it's a minor league autograph of some random player that popped, or, I'll buy, like, take, for example, when I was with Cooter down in Oklahoma City at the card shop, there was a ton of in-person autographs. I was going through them just to add to my own collection, but there were a few like, oh, this is like Troy Tulowitzki. Like, it's Troy Tulowitzki. It's a minor league autograph. The chances of this being a fake auto are pretty slim. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to sell it in-person auto. There's no authenticity behind it. If it fails, let me know. If you're going to send in a Troy Tulowitzki autograph. Now, another example, different example, is when I bought some autograph lots from an auction house in Beloit. I went in knowing it's buyer beware. They are non-authenticated. Some of the lots had authentic, Topps authentic autos in there. Some looked good. And, I bought some and I submitted them to, the top. Now, Mookie Blaylock, I'm not submitting that for authentication. But I did submit David Robinson, which came back good and slabbed, and I sold it. Drew Brees rookie card came back good, and I sold it. Deion Sanders did not come back good. So it's still like this. I'm contemplating getting a second opinion from another from Spence or maybe even Beckett. I might even do the rip-off $10 Beckett thing that I hate. I don't like giving them money, but because I think they fail everything. So that's how I handle it. I would not sell. I would never have sold that Deion Sanders autograph raw without authentication. I would never sell The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I would never sell one of his autographs raw. I would get anything like that authenticated. So send it in for authentication before selling it. Mookie Blaylock, Nate McMillan, J Tibbs, $3, $5 autos. I'll sell those raw. And if there's an issue, let me know and you can have your money back. Dan says, some jagoff got a Burley printing plate signed. Pissed me off just seeing it, but some plates are signed now for packs, which I also hate. Unicorn says, so it's 1-of-1 and he ruined it with an auto. Autographs are also kind of gay to me if they signed it after their career was over. Kind of gay to me. What's this, 1977? On card autos. I have not heard that phrase used since I was in 7th grade, which I guess was the 90s, not the 70s. Max says, I'm talking just collecting myself. If it's a hard guy like Zach Greinke, different story. I'll flip anything I think I can make money on. Dat Dude says, autos on memorabilia. Game used bat, jersey. Love it. Love it. In fact, I would prefer an autograph on game used memorabilia. Now, I dislike autographs on knockoff jerseys or off the rack jerseys. I think that's just a waste. I think a signed game used jersey, especially if it's inscripted like game used, if you have the date, even better. But I think autos on a freaking trinket is stupid. Like, I see autograph bat. I got this autograph bat. Yeah, great. It's off the rack at Louisville Slugger. I don't want that. But you get a game used bat. Yeah, I want that autographed. So that's my thought process. The junk China jerseys, I don't want those signed. I don't want something signed from the Fanatics Fanatics store. But a gamer, yeah, absolutely. Max says, anything autographed other than a card that I didn't have signed myself, I basically ignore. Dat Dude says, I have jerseys, pictures, etc. They are always in collections, just not ready to pay for authentication. I got enough cards to deal with. Yeah, I have stuff that it's like fringy stuff. You know, if it's most, I'll sell. Like, I'll just sell raw. But if it's like I have some like 8x10, like I have an 8x10 Brett Favre autograph. It's not something I'm going to sell raw, but it's also not something I really want to send in to get authenticated. And then I have like a Lynn Dickey 8x10, like personalized to Susan or something. It's like, it's just, I don't want to throw it away. It's a waste of time to try to sell it. And I'm certainly not getting Lynn Dickey authenticated. So there's not like a black and white. I don't think there's like there's not like a rule. Like nothing is really a rule in our hobby industry, but for the most part. But I think it kind of varies from person to person. Some people would never sell a J Tibbs unauthenticated. I mean, even when I have J Tibbs autographs in my eBay store, I'll have, is this authenticated? No, it's J fucking Tibbs. No, it's not authenticated. If you want to get it authenticated, buy it, send it in. They reject it, let me know. It's J fucking Tibbs. Mark, what's going on? Good morning. Dat Dude says, I have a Ted Williams with some shitty COA. I just put it in a box and we'll get to it someday. And so that's something, if it's a shitty COA, that's something I would say. If it's Ted Williams with a shitty COA, that's something I would send into a non-shitty authenticator. I would not sell a Ted Williams autograph with, the baseball card shop's homemade authentication stamp. I would send that in to PSA or somewhere. James Spence, Beckett, whatever. Mark says, if you have an on-card auto, you can use Beckett to authenticate and slab the card for $20 to $25. Operation Bullpen. There you go. All right, so that's what I had for today. Almost an hour, and Bargain Boxer's not here. Almost an hour. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I've got 2 shows coming up. I've got a podcast. I still don't have a link, I don't think. I'll check my email. Anyway, so, all right. Have a great day. Join me at 10:45 in about an hour. I'll be live, eBay Live. Lots today. Lots. 10:45 this morning, Central Time. We're going to be rolling out baseball, football, basketball lots. And again, this afternoon at 2:30, looking to do 50 lots in each show. So see me then, eBay Live. Links are in the description. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on eBay Live.